Hello friends, welcome to Mysterious Stories. Samburu people call North Kenya home. These are some tribes whose way of life differs greatly from that of the contemporary society. They have their own culture and language, not that they have no link to the contemporary society. These people live their lives raising sheep, goats, camels, etc. Their tribes also trade among themselves, therefore defining their unique way of life. Friends, now we travel to Switzerland, a quite lovely European nation. 1960 saw the birth of a Swiss girl. Though her mother was from France and her father was German, this family was now residing in Switzerland. Her parents named her Corinne Hoffmann. Friends, Corinne's parents were quite prosperous. She started leading a luxurious life. She always loved running some business, and eventually at the age of just 21 Corinne launched a clothes boutique. Her parents supported her on every occasion. During this period, Corinne also became engaged. Her fiancé's name was Marco. Corinne was also going to get married very soon, that is, she was happy in every manner, but suddenly in 1986, something happened that transformed Corinne's life. Friends, in 1986, Corinne intended to go to Kenya. She was quite fond of seeing Africa and that's when she booked a vacation to Kenya. Friends, on this journey, Corinne had to go to North Kenya and visit the Sambu people, about whom I told you in the opening of the film. Corinne was incredibly excited. She reached these folks. She witnessed their lifestyle and their culture. But before she returned from there, Corinne met a man here. The name of this individual was Tinga Lepa Morage. Corinne had to spend a few days among these folks and throughout these days, she formed friends with Lekate. In just a few days, Corinne started enjoying him so much that she decided that she would marry Lekate. Friends, you can imagine how important a decision this was. Corinne, who grew up in Switzerland, whose culture was completely different, an educated lady who was living in the contemporary world, wanted to marry a man whose culture and whose world was distinct from hers. It was absolutely different. When she talked about marrying Lake Tinga himself was surprised. This decision was difficult for him as well. He had not even dreamed that he would marry a girl who was not from his clan. Friends, Lake Tinga talked to the elders of his tribe about this and finally all of them agreed. Corinne, who was already engaged, called her fiancé and told him everything and also talked to her parents. Friends, Corinne came back to Switzerland. She sold everything, sold her clothing store, sold all her properties. She entirely ended her old life and in 1987 she returned back to Kenya, but Tinga was already waiting for her to marry. Both of them got married in Lake Tinga's village. This marriage also transpired according to their culture. Friends, it was quite tough for Corinne to settle in Kenya. After experiencing all these obstacles like visa concerns, bureaucratic issues, Corinne finally she had married Lekate but now she was ready to know the realities of life. Friends, Lake Tinga had only a few clothes, a small heart and several animals. These folks conducted their lives in this way. There was no bathroom in their area and for that they had to walk to the neighboring forest. There was no electricity, gas or water at this place. You can imagine how tough it would be for a girl who was born in a privileged family of Switzerland to live this life. Corinne had chosen this decision but now this was her life. When she would wake up in the morning, she would be worrying about food and drink. She would often fill water herself and bring it home. Friends, despite all these obstacles, Corinne did not lose courage. Very soon a daughter was born to these folks and Corinne also opened a little business at the same place where she used to sell basic food things but her struggles did not end here. Friends, because the culture of both of them was completely different, there used to be frequent conflicts between them. If Corinne met someone, she would converse smilingly. This is a common thing for a lady living in Europe, but Lucky did not enjoy this either. It is apparent that she had her own ideas and her own environment. Both of them were not able to understand each other. When Corinne started a shop at this spot, Lucky did not like this also, but despite this, both of them lived together for 3 to 4 years. During this time, Corinne's health also deteriorated many times. She also caught malaria, but there was no hospital or treatments in this place. Corinne was slowly understanding that it was getting quite tough for her to survive at this home. Friends, at this time she also came to know that her spouse also consumes a substance which is called khat in the local language. It is a plant which is also named Bushman's tie. She thought that due to this medicine, her spouse constantly clashes with her. However, Corinne has now concluded that she cannot spend her life in this place anymore. Friends, she devised a plan to escape this place, but she also wanted to take her daughter back with her to Switzerland. Now the difficulty was how she would take her daughter from here because Tinga would never let her do so, and then Corinne formulated a plan. Friends, she told Leketing that she is going to Switzerland for a few days to meet her folks. She claimed that her parents are missing their granddaughter and then her daughter would also travel with her. But Tinga was a little offended at first, but then he consented. Perhaps he understood in his heart that Corinne is leaving to Switzerland forever. Friends, in 1990, Corinne returned to Switzerland and after reaching there, she immediately contacted Lekate and told him that she will not return now. She divorced Lekate under the laws of both Switzerland and Kenya. But she made a promise to Lekate, and that was that she will continue to aid his family financially and will send some money to his family every month. Friends, later Corinne published a book. Its name was White Masai. She wrote her complete story in this book. Soon this book got famous all over the world. This book became renowned and was translated into many languages, and a film was based on it in 2005 named The White Masai. Corinne later authored 4 additional novels on her life. She still lives with her daughter in Switzerland. No one knows for sure where her snake spouse Lake Tinga is now.